All right, I have with me today the producer for the hit movie Sound of Freedom. His name is Eduardo Verastegui, and I'm excited to have him on. Before we get into that, though, Eduardo, I have a special surprise at the end of this interview with a chance to see the Sound of Freedom movie for free, thanks to Angel Studios. Now, I saw the Sound of Freedom the day before it was officially released. I loved it. It left me with a feeling of wanting to do more and to spread the word. Why did you want to make this movie, Eduardo? And why do you think Hollywood and the media have tried so hard to discredit it?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for this interview. I'm very grateful, especially when you don't have a budget for a lot of publicity. Any interview, it's a blessing for us, because that's how people, organically, the word of mouth and these interviews are helping this movement that is growing and growing, that it's too late. No one can stop it. They can take me, they can take Tim, they can take Jinka Diesel. We're talking about millions of people. They cannot take millions of people. So 2015, I'm looking for another project, and then I met Tim Ballard with Alejandro Monteverde. And when you need a true American hero, true American heroes, because it was him with his partners, experts on rescuing children kidnapped for sexual exploitation, when they explain to us in details what they do around the world, how they travel undercover, visiting the darkest corners of the world to rescue children. They're like this light penetrating the darkness and saving children, arresting traffickers. Of course, I was inspired to meet true heroes in one hand, but in the other hand, I was in shock. I couldn't sleep when they explained to us in details what they do to these children, the pain that these children are going through, kids that are being raped 10 to 15 times a day for many years. And then some of them, they open them and sell their organs. And when you learn, I didn't know about this. Of course, you hear phrases like human trafficking, and it's like, yeah, human trafficking. What is human trafficking? And it's very big. We're talking about more than 40 million people in slavery today. Many of them are children. So I thought human trafficking was maybe children in India working instead of being with their family in school, right? Maybe, in some cases, kids who were sexually abused in a political sector, in the religious sector, in families, where this actually that's where happens even more right there, in families. In Spanish, violencia sexual doméstica, sexual domestic violence, right? But I never heard in details that we are in the millions, not in one case here, one case there, one case there. No. We're talking about in the millions. And that's when I asked him, Butter, hermano, you're the solution. No, we're not the solution. What are you talking about? You're just telling me how you're rescuing children around the world. We can be the solution for one child. Yes, we are. And if you save one child, of course, you save the world. We're the solution for thousands. Thank God. We're talking about millions, Eduardo. We're not the solution. Well, how we solve this problem then? I mean, yes, one child at a time, but how we solve the millions? He said, because you live in the most powerful country in the world. You have the technology, you have the intelligence, you have the army, you have the police, you have everything. How come we don't finish with this problem once and for all? And he said, because it's not a priority. So what can we do? We need a movement. And I know that it's very sad what I'm telling you, but it's more sad now that you and Alejandro Monteverde, the director, now that you guys know it, and if you do nothing. And right there, we realize that we have a weapon of mass inspiration and instruction. Movies. Movies can move people. Movies can start a movement. Movie to movement, right? Okay, we can do a movie to movement style movie. Tell us about your rescue missions. And then Alejandro started interviewing him. And when he said that the most difficult rescue mission he ever done in his life was the first one, Cartagena, Colombia. And then he told us the story of Son of Freedom. And I was in shock. I was like, wow, man, what can we do besides the movie? Well, one thing at a time, let's just, let's make the script first, and then I will tell you what else you can do. But right now, yes, because the movie can start the movement, but it's not enough, because movies come and they go. What's next? We need to leave a legacy, a permanent legacy, right? So one thing at a time. I really wanted to change it. I was so on fire, I was like, because he said something very powerful to me. He said, Eduardo, before you and Alejandro commit, I need to be very honest with you guys. Um, we have a lot of friends, but we have a lot of enemies too. A lot of enemies, and they're after us. And we are fighting this industry that produces more than $150 billion a year. So just so you know, I want you to know how big this is. It's dangerous. Yes, it is. I don't want you later to call me, Tim, you never told me that this is. So I'm just telling you that before you commit, you need to be aware of that. And you just closing my eyes for a second and thinking about, okay, what if this is my son? What if this is my daughter? What would I do? I will do everything. I will do anything. And I will hope that the entire world will stop everything they're doing so they can help me to find my son, right? So that's my motivation. I welcome your enemies, brother. I don't want to wait until this tragedy happens to me or my family for me to wake up. God reveals this information to you for a reason, not for me to look the other way around, not for me to remain silent and quiet so the perverts can continue doing their thing and no one cares. And no, because evil triumphs when good people remain silent. And when good people remain silent, they're not good people anymore. They're part of the problem. I don't want to be that. I don't want to be in that category. I want to do something, brother. And yes, it's dangerous, but you know what? It's more dangerous not to do it in the long term. I want to do something. I want to die for this. And that's how the whole thing started, brother.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Back in 2020, my wife and my 3 children, we actually marched through Salt Lake City with Operation Underground Railroad with Tim Ballard. And the movement got almost no attention from the media. I was disgusted by it. This incredible, painful problem where the United States is the front runner of these operations and the amount of money that's being made, and yet the media wanted to do nothing. Do you think all the attacks on you, Tim Ballard, Jim Caviezel, Sound of Freedom, has it only strengthened the cause? Because you guys beat out Indiana Jones, which was well funded by Disney. Disney had the opportunity to be the distributor on this, and they chose to walk away, as well as other major, movie studios. But in the end, has that resistance been helpful to the cause?
When we started this process 8 years ago, I didn't know what I was going to. What I was going to be confronting. The obstacles. You just say yes, and because it's a calling. When it's a calling, you don't measure everything. You don't calculate everything, right? Because otherwise you never do anything, right? If you start calculating, all the things that may happen, either it's a calling or not. So for us, it was a calling, but little by little, we start, facing a lot of obstacles. A lot, people didn't want to finance this project because it was too dangerous. They were saying, I remember, a lot of investors, in the beginning, well, I have family, Eduardo, this is too risk for us. It's too precisely because you have a family, precisely because of that, you need to do something. You guys are the target. You have children. They're the target. You need to do something. Well, yeah, no, okay, whatever. Next door. So finally, we raised what we needed to start the process of pre-production. Then after that, when the script was finished and we were ready for the pre-production, then every actor passed, more than 20 actors. They said the same thing. This is not for us. My client doesn't respond to the material. My client is busy. Well, we can move the dates. No, he's going to be busy for the next 20,000 years. Oh, okay. So things like that, right? And finally, I called Tim and I said, Tim, no, nobody wants to get involved in here. Is there any actor that you would love to play you? Do you have any dream actor? And he said, Jim Caviezel. And I never thought about Jim because I was looking for someone who looks like Jim, same age, same height and everything. And Jim is older than him. He doesn't look like him. But then he said, doesn't matter, Eduardo. I'm looking for an ambassador of freedom. And this guy he's a godly man. He's a brave heart, brave man. I don't want an actor who just would pay him. He comes to the movie, comes to the premiere, and then he walks away to the next project. I want someone that stay with us forever. So, did you know him? Yes, I know him. Well, please try to get him. So I sent him a text message, and I was expecting the typical Hollywood actor respond, call my manager, send the script, send the offer, we'll call you. and then nothing happened because we're outsiders. We are independent filmmakers. We're always against the current, against the system, against the establishment of Hollywood, and so no chance, right? But no, he answered right away, and let's meet today. Alejandro Monteverde and I, we met with him, we pitched the story, and he was so moved and so touched, and he starts crying, and he said, I'm in. And that's how Jim Caviezel got in. But after all these obstacles, and finally when the movie, when we started doing the movie, we made a beautiful deal with Fox Latin America, with Carlos Martinez, an amazing human being, a good friend of mine, that when he read the script, when he heard the pitch, he said, Eduardo, I want to help. I want to all in with this movie, all in, not just a movie. I want to do a sequel. I want to do a TV series. I want to do a documentary. And the deal was so good to be true. It was amazing. Not only that, some of our investors, they walk away. They help us. They replace them, and they gave me a loan to finish the movie and everything. So everything was so beautiful. I was like, wow, all these years waiting for this is a miracle. I was living the miracle right there. But then Disney bought Fox. When Disney bought Fox, all the contract and every other property, of course, they acquired them, right? And my friends, my angels, Carlos Martinez and his team, they walk away. So they were not part of the Disney family anymore. So now I'm in Disney Latin America. And what am I going to do? They see the film several times, and they told me this movie is not for us. This movie is not for Disney. So, okay, well, I'm going to walk away with the movie. Yes, but we need to fix the deal because there's a lot of commitments from you and from us. And so I said, oh my gosh, bureaucracy kills creativity. I'm going to be stuck. They're going to keep this movie forever. What am I going to do? Well, you have a debt. Yes, I have a debt, but you have a commitment. You commit to do a documentary. Are you going to do it? No. Okay. Are you going to do the sequel? You're going to do the TV series? No. Okay. So then I signed the deal only because of all these promises. And if those promises are not there anymore, so the contract, the value of the contract is not the same. And yes, I have to pay you, but year and a half negotiating. Finally, we got the rights back, and then I started knocking doors, and Netflix, Amazon, other distribution companies, other deals, and nothing happened. The experts told us that this is not good business for them, that this movie, that who is going to see a movie about child trafficking? And of course, these voices of experts telling you like, no, the doors are closed, back to back, closing doors, and you have two options. Either you give up or you don't give up, which is the second one, right? And then I started doing this campaign against child trafficking in Mexico. I started calling every governor, right, left, up and down. Doesn't matter. This is not politics. This is, this is about saving children. And yes, Eduardo, what can I do for you? Well, I have this movie, and will you host the screening in your state and invite all the leaders and the police and the army and everyone who is someone, the filmmakers of your state to see the movie? And then at the end, we sign an agreement. Here's the agreement. You can, read the agreement and you can add whatever you want. But the idea is to sign the agreement where we do a commitment to end child trafficking, all forms of child exploitation in your state. And then we sign it, and then we do a press conference, then we raise awareness, and all of them say yes. A few exceptions, but we still went there and showed the movie to the leaders. Only few governors didn't show up, but it doesn't matter. The people show up. And that's when I got my confidence back, when I saw the people all over Mexico, 1,000 people per screening, per presentation, standing ovation, people in tears, people like, saying things like, enough is enough, not on my watch, we're going to end this. Then, hold on a second. The experts are telling me that this movie is nothing, but the people are saying this movie is everything. So I listened to the people, not to the experts. And that I got my confidence back, and I started doing this tour with one hand, with the other hand, keep knocking doors, praying to God, please send an angel to rescue this film, and Angel Studios show up. And when they called us and they said, hey, we are your only option, Eduardo. Imagine in Utah, in Provo, a small distributor calling me, telling me, we are your only option. After 8 years, we signed the deal in 5 days. We launched the movie July 4th, and the history, the rest is history. We became the #1 movie in America. All glory to God. Very thankful for all the people who are praying for this project. This movie is full of prayers. So many people praying for years for this movie, and God heard those prayers, and 10 million people later showing up in theaters and beating Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible, and now we're surviving with these two giants that just came out a few days ago, and we're there. We're still there, and I can't believe that this movement now. I always thought this is going to be a movement. I didn't know how big the movement now is global. We got emails from all over the world, countries asking for the film. Fallen Angel Studios, won the film. They're fighting for the rights of the film in each country. Now it's going to be coming out August 31st in Mexico and the rest of Latin America. Weeks later, Europe, Asia, everywhere. I mean, this movement is too late. They can stop it. They can take me or Jim or Tim. They cannot take millions of people. It's too late. This is unbelievable. We're going to end this nightmare. We're going to save the children. That children are not for sale.
Yes. I love it. Thank you very much. I know we're limited on time. I wanted to ask one question. In the last 2 weeks in U.S. Congress, it came out that over 250,000 children have crossed through the United States border. 85,000 of those children are missing. Mm-hmm. United States government doesn't know where they are. They're not looking for them. Is this where some of that trafficking happens, is in times of confusion? Or is it targeting families that don't have the resources to look for their children? Like where can people become more aware of this situation?
They're the perfect target. Vulnerable children, no adults with them. Easy target. We don't know where those kids are. Can you believe it? No. They're in America. We don't know where they are because they didn't do enough. They didn't do the DNA test. There's just, whoever say, hey, I'm his father. Okay, take it. Hey, I'm his uncle. Take it. Hey, I'm the godfather. Take it. Oh, his father sent me to pick it up. Take it. Can you imagine what a lack of responsibility this administration? It's unforgivable. Yeah. I mean, just think about what if this is your son, and next thing you know, he escaped, or he was stolen, or he was kidnapped, or whatever. Or you send him because of someone convinced you that your brother was going to be waiting for him, or whatever the case was. We know one thing: 85,000 children, minors, 85,000 minors, some of them children, they're missing, and we don't know where they are. Yeah. And that's why this movement is so important, because we are going to show the movie to the Congress. Both Democrats and Republicans in Washington. And if we touch Washington, you touch the world, because the most important decision makers in the world, they are going to see the movie. And I hope the light of the movie, the message of the movie will resonate with their hearts. I hope we touch their hearts. I hope the pressure of the people and the pressure of media, the good media, not the negative media, because there are some people in the media who are, I think, involved in this pedophile industry trying to block this message. It's too late. They're not going to do. They're giving us a favor because of the bad reviews and of trying to destroy the message and the messengers. People are waking up because of them. So somehow they're being used to bless this project. I'm grateful to them. Keep doing what you're doing. It's working. But the problem is bigger than that. Unless we fix our hearts, you can have the most secure border in the world between Canada and United States and Mexico and United States, right? The best one in the world, right? If you don't fix your heart, you're gonna keep consuming child pornography. You're gonna take your kid's neighbor or your own son, because you need to fix your mind and your heart first. Addictions will kill you. If you want to do evil, you will be creative to do evil. Yeah. So yes, law and order in one hand. Law and order, very important. The other hand, you need to have God in your heart. You need to fix your heart. Otherwise, it's not going to work. This is happening everywhere. I mean, 60% of child pornography is produced in Mexico, and U.S. is the #1 consumer of child pornography, of sex with kids and drugs. So when the good people of Mexico, when two Mexican filmmakers like Alejandro Monteverde and myself, who we want to use our talents and our lives to save lives, meet with two American heroes, Tim Ballard and Jim Caviezel. What happened with Mexico and US meet, shake hands, and work together? What's the result? Sound of Freedom, a movement that is designed to save children. Now, what happened when the bad people of Mexico meet with the bad people of America, of the United States? They shake hands, they work together. What happened? What's the result? Child trafficking. What is the result? Fentanyl, drugs, cancer, illegal gangs, child pornography, culture of death. So we represent the culture of life. This is a war. This is a war of ideas. This is a war of in technology. This is a war of in the media. This is a war of that we need to be aware of that. We're in a war right now, and we need to make sure that the good people of Mexico, the good people of Latin America, meet with the good people of the United States and Canada, and we start working in projects like Sound of Freedom. It works. I mean, this is the fruit of this combination. We're not just neighbors. We can be brothers and sisters. And when we make sure that the good people meet, good things happen, like Sound of Freedom. This is the perfect example. Let's make America and Mexico free again, great again. Let's save these two nations. When there is a demand, there is a supply. So if the United States keep consuming drugs and child pornography, Mexico, because of the location, will be the provider. And that somehow incentivize people to be involved in this crime. And then people in America die, people in Mexico die. We don't want people to die. We want people to live. We want to celebrate life, not death, right?
Yes, amen, amen. Well, you guys are doing a great thing. I'm grateful to be a part of it. I want to thank you for coming on. I encourage everybody watching this interview to please share this, like this video, and go see this movie. Eduardo, thank you so much for coming on, and we hope that there's a part 2 coming out soon. But thank you again, and have a great rest of your day.
God bless you. For more information, go to angel.com/freedom, angel.com/freedom. Buy tickets for you, for your family, or you can buy tickets through Pay It Forward for other families that cannot afford to bring the families to see the movie in the theater. And because of your generosity, they will see the film for free. God bless you, and thank you for your support. Join the army of freedom. Together we can end this. God's children are not for sale. God bless you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey there, it's Stephen Gardner. I hope you enjoyed this most recent interview. I want to say thank you so much for supporting this channel. On occasion, I get suppressed or my videos aren't pushed out. And so I just want to say thank you. It takes a tremendous amount of effort to get some of these big names to agree to come on a small channel like mine. So I hope you enjoyed it. I also hope that you will take time to go see the movie Sound of Freedom. If you have the money, go support them, buy a ticket. If you don't, then our group as well as other people are putting up the money so that you can go see it absolutely free. I'm going to leave a link down below. Now, I was recently saddened to have 2 or 3 of the sponsors that I regularly work with tell me that they were backing out of working with me because I was promoting the Sound of Freedom movie. However, one of my favorite sponsors, Mr. 1920 Soap, last minute stepped up and sponsored this video. And I just want to say thank you to them. They're a small business in the state of Texas. The soap is made right here in the United States. It smells great. It looks great. It is great. I will leave a link down below. If you can support them, I would really appreciate it because they had the courage to stand up for children and ending slavery. And I wanted to let you know. I'll leave those 2 links down below. Thank you so much.